Hello, welcome back, and sorry for the extended break, but I was tired. I have been lucky enough to be stacked up on doing like the kinds of writing that makes you want to check out these videos in the first place. It's never something I take for granted, so I've been taking some time and having some real fun with it, along with some time with the family. But now we are back and we are ready to attack this new year, and I hope that you are too. I don't ordinarily believe in New Year's resolutions, but this year, after such a disaster of 2023 for our industry, maybe it's time. I've been reading your tweets lately, and I'm a little worried about my lovely, wonderful friends in the pre WGA community. So I think it's time for a little tough love. It's time to make some New Year's resolutions. To wit, it's time to resolve to get serious about networking correctly. You can call it crass or not, but you need to get to know people in the industry who aren't necessarily writers, and you need to develop relationships with them. Have heard this approach called crass and phony. Welcome to showbiz. And I can hear you out there. I'm going to change everything about this business. I'm going to stop that system. Good luck. If the last few years and the botched reform movements of the last few years have taught us anything, it's that that might not be so easy. So, it's not like you're going to pretend to be friends with these people, but they're here to do business just like you're here to do business. And there's only so much that making deep bonds in writers' groups is really going to do for your business future. Assistants are who you want to get to know. Many of them are on their way up. They're out on their way up to be executives, to be producers, to be agents, to be managers, to be studio heads. When I first signed with an agent that I had for about 12 years, her first assistant is now a senior executive that I pitched to at studios. That's where it's all headed. Those are the bonds and the relationships that you need to be making. When I started this job way back in another millennium, all the assistants would get together at bars a couple of times a week, and they would all get to know each other so that they could all help each other out with favors and climbing up the ladder. I know there's people out there who are saying, well, writers do hire other writers for TV shows, so it's important to know each other. Well, kinda, like it's hard to get your friends hired on a show as writers. Plus, showrunners have a lot less control over who ends up in that room than you might think. We feel like in our imagination it's 100% control that a showrunner has. In the end, it's probably more like 25% control over who gets in there. So don't get too mad at your showrunner friends if they're not able to get you on their show right away. Resolve to stop making querying agents and managers your plan A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Everybody is doing it. It's a crapshoot. Yeah, you got to do it, but anticipate maybe a 1% response. Maybe. Do query baby producers. You find them in TV by looking at the credits of a show that you love. Write down everybody with producer, any kind of producer name in their title, then cross out the names of anybody who wrote an episode. The rest of the people on that list are what's called non-writing producers. Figure out the smallest one that has a production entity in there, and that's your baby producer. That's the person to try to track down. If you're looking for them in features, the way to do it is you look at everybody with a producer credit, but you ignore the PGA possessive producer credit, but write down anybody else with any other kind of producer in their title, exec, associate, co, whatever. Then Google them, the one with the smallest production entity. There's your baby producer. Those are the people that you need to be querying the most. Those are the ones who can do the most for you. They need you. You need them. It's a way more realistic shot than reps. Plus, their best friends are executives, bigger producers, managers, agents, entertainment lawyers, all the people that you're going to need. They will help you with your team building once they love something of yours. Resolve to spend more time rewriting the draft you've got and less time chasing your next whip work in progress. Okay. I can't think of anything more frustrating than these year-end tweets where I see, I wrote 11 features this year, or I wrote 7 features this year. It's like, sure, you wrote 7 first drafts of 7 different ideas, but you probably did 0 rewriting. And rewriting is where the magic is made. For the most part, your first draft may have more inspiration to it, but the rewrite cinches everything up tight, makes it flow and move and work. Rewrite. That other idea that comes to you when you're 3/4 of the way through your draft that you're dying to get to next, it will wait. It will. Impressive body count numbers of screenplays per year is actually just kind of wrong for your career. Resolve to accept that the streaming bubble of TV jobs is over. The number of staff writing jobs bloated enormously for a 5 to 7 year phase of the cowboy years of streaming, specifically Netflix and then the others who came along. Now those days are over, and that job number is contracting again. So resolve to plan accordingly. Until that streaming bubble, features were always seen as a more clear path to breaking in. You write a great feature, they're hiring you or entering, you're entering a long-term business arrangement like you do in TV. They're not doing that. They're just buying your script and it's done. All that matters is what's on the page. So if you live somewhere else, or if you think you're not the most viable candidate to interview well for TV rooms, you are better off pursuing features. Resolve to accept that this industry has always been and always will be in flux. There's never been a normal time. Never. There's always a reason for them to say no. There's always a scarcity of jobs. You ever notice that all the jobs that you can get easy are kind of less than desirable, whereas TV and movie jobs are really hard to get because maybe they're just so desirable? Of course it's hard. It's always been hard. Resolve to beat that with good habits. Keep writing and rewriting. Keep meeting new people. Keep advocating yourself and your own work everywhere you go because you never know who you're talking to. Get better and sharper at your craft. Dig in and resolve to remind yourself about the reasons you got into this in the first place. Maybe 2024 is a time for all of us to go back and reconnect with our roots, connect with the things that inspired us to take this crazy risk with our lives in the first place. And that's really my last piece of New Year's resolution suggestion. Take more chances. I see so many of you out there being tentative, writing my A24 spec, my streaming spec, my third person existential motifs Dadaist spec. It's like, no, write what your heart and your gut tells you is the very best story that you've got at any given time. Take a chance on you, on your own taste. Take a chance on the stories and the ideas that got you interested in the first place. Take a chance on just letting your voice fly and be you on the page. I love the way that LA natives approach the industry. They approach it like a job, just a job in the one industry town that they live in and grew up in. Not a dream factory, not an unachievable fantasy, just a job. Resolve to treat it more like a job and less like a dream, and you will be shocked at how much more real it gets. So thank you for being here. Welcome back. We are going to be here almost every week this year with a brand new edited video. We're going live today because our beloved editor has been struck with COVID and needs some time off. We will be back to our edited presentation soon, mostly focusing on technique. And soon, I'm also going to introduce two new pet projects of mine here to the YouTube channel. A 4-part, 4-video, 30 minutes each, live presentation of me writing a pilot live time, number one. Number two, we're going to very soon do a pre-WGA All-Stars version of one of our most popular Zooms, Breaking Story, where we take a small group of writers and turn ourselves into a writer's room to attack a pilot, and we always walk away with a pilot outline. So we're going to come on and we're going to do that live for you one time too. If you are interested in these or any of our other Zooms, all of the information is down below or on our homepage. It is wonderful to see you again. I will see you next week, and I really, really wish the best of luck to all of us in the year 2024. Thank you.